All right. Eddie Hearn issues a 1-year statement from Dazn, and I've been waiting a year for it. He says that they're doing a good job Buddy K don't even believe his own lie. Let's talk about that in this video. All right. Welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, join the live stream community that we have Monday through Fridays, right around 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, and OG Boxing Talk, how we end the week on Sunday, 8 a.m. with myself, KQKC Boxing, Blood Boxing, and Curtis Anderson. And thank you to the Patreon community. You guys really help the channel so much. Now, Eddie Hearns is flopping in the USA. You know that we got to do Steven Springsteen. Is it Springsteen? Born in the USA. You know that shit? I can't sing. You remember that song? Flopping in the USA by Eddie Hearn, man. Because Eddie Hearn has been with Dazn in the United States for a year. He is asked about what he thinks and how the platform is doing. And the best thing that he can say is, we have some numbers that are getting close to showtimes. Showtime. Dazn and Eddie Hearn have managed. Dazn has managed to spend $60 million on a fight, right? $50 million on a fight on a couple of different occasions for their concurrent view streams to almost catch up with a Gervonta Davis, Hugo Ruiz fight on Showtime. That ain't cutting it, okay? That ain't cutting it. Eddie Hearn came to the United States announcing a $1 billion deal, a transatlantic takeover of the United States. I believe either he or Bob Aaron, but I think it was him, that said Showtime is in trouble. They're a thing of the past, and the way we're going to streaming, and they might not even be here in a year. But yet a year later, Eddie Hearn is Dazn. Biggest fights are almost catching up to Gervonta Davis on Showtime numbers. Now, that fight that he's talking about with the 600,000 concurrent views, which is probably around 300,000, could be as few as 300,000 subscribers watching, is about 150,000 less than a Gervonta Davis fight on Showtime. Because the last fight that he did, he got over 400,000. And that is not a Errol Spence Jr. at 800,000 or a Mikey Garcia at 800,000. Come on, man. Come on. That's nothing to brag about. But inside the meat of it, he tells the truth. But look here. Oh, I'm sorry. And not only that, not just the fact that Canelo Alvarez versus Daniel Jacobs was the fight that got the numbers. Canelo Alvarez isn't signed to Matchroom. Gennady Golovkin is not signed to Matchroom. That's a co-promotional deal. Devin Haney, who I think is probably the best, the brightest chance for Matchroom in the US, isn't signed to Matchroom as an exclusive promoter. That's a co-promotional deal between him and between Devin Haney Promotions and Matchroom Boxing. The fact is, man, that Dazn prices have doubled. Their viewership is nowhere near where they want it to be. They are deeply in the red as far as the expenditures, the public expenditures, right? Or the numbers that are being put out in the public, okay? Because I've read reports that said that the worldwide revenue of Dazn, the worldwide revenue for Dazn is somewhere around $40 million. They spent more than that. Check that number though. Check that number. That might be the $40 million might be the revenue that they've made in the United States. But regardless, they have spent over $100 million last year, over $100 million to catch up, to not catch up to Showtime. Now, Eddie Hearn also said, trying to turn water into wine, trying to polish that turd, that there's a lot of people out there that one of the problems that they have was that there was so much pressure and so much pushback from people, and he didn't expect it, right? He had a lot of money. He figured he was going to be able to sign all of these different fighters. He was going to get these big names. There was going to continually through last year, there was going to be announcement after announcement was going to come up about who the next big major fighter he was going to sign, but yet he couldn't sign him. So bad is it that he mentioned in the list of people that he was signing, he mentioned Mikey Garcia wanting to sign. Now, last time I checked, Mikey Garcia has not signed with Dazn. Eddie Hearn is just saying that Mikey Garcia wanted to sign. Who has Eddie Hearn actually signed? Eddie Hearn has actually signed Demetrius Andrade, who can't get a fight, a decent fight. He signed Devin Haney. Very, very good signing, Devin Haney. He has signed Tevin Farmer. He's signed Tevin Farmer. I'm waiting for I know you can't, but in your living room say, woo-wee. Meanwhile, they said Dazn was going to kill pay-per-view. You're over here on Fox with multiple 300, 400, and 500,000 pay-per-views being done by Fox. You had Errol Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia did over 300,000, did like 350,000. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury did over 300,000. Errol Spence Jr. versus Sean Porter did over 350,000. But the Deontay Wilder was over there on Showtime. So we have another one coming up with Luis Ortiz, but because that wasn't on Fox, that was on a smaller network, Showtime. And then you have Manny Pacquiao versus Adrian Bronner did over 400,000. And then Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman, it did 500,000. And these are all at $75 a pop. What happened to the death of pay-per-view? It seems like pay-per-view is doing better on Fox with Fox than it was a couple years ago on Showtime. On HBO. It seems like pay-per-view was doing better with Fox with DAZN there than HBO was doing when there was no DAZN competing against them. You weren't consistently getting 355. You had guys like 50,000 pay-per-view buys with Top Rank and Terrence Crawford. You had Gennady Golovkin pay-per-view fights in the hundreds of thousands. But you have Errol Spence and these guys, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Adrian Bronner, Deontay Wilder, all doing significantly better than that. So if the goal of DAZN was to market the end of pay-per-view, you're not doing a very good job because pay-per-views are becoming more frequent than they had been over the last few years. And people are getting their money's worth out of them and not complaining. I've not heard of one pay-per-view that's been on Fox that Fox has put up that anybody complained about. Nobody. I've not heard anybody complain about Manny Pacquiao versus Adrian Bronner. I didn't hear anybody complaining about Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. I didn't hear anybody complaining about Errol Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia. Definitely not Errol Spence and Sean Porter. I've not heard anybody complain about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. I've not heard anybody complaining about the pay-per-views, having to pay $75 to see a good fight that they want to see. But what I have seen is a lot of people saying, nah, no thanks to paying $100 over the course of a year for a bunch of fights that they don't want to see. And it's not going to get any better because you have fighters over there on Dazn who just aren't being seen by anybody. When you have 500,000 pay-per-view buys for Adrian Bronner, for Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman, do you realize that means there's more people that paid $75 for that fight than tuned in to watch Canelo Alvarez fight Daniel Jacobs? More people wanted to pay $75 for that. If you have 350,000 pay-per-views for Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, that's more people are willing to pay pay-per-view on Fox than are willing to sign up for $100 for Dazn. Maybe it's because they're watching the fighters that they actually want to see fight. And they're not seeing fights like Liam and Walsh fighting one another who they've never heard of before. Cards stacked with people they've never heard of before. But it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. We'll see if Eddie Hearn can learn from his mistakes. I do think that he came in here all big, bad, brash, and bold, and it flew in his face because people were like, nah, you sound like a jackass, and we don't want to work with you because we like the money we're making over here with Al Heyman, and we trust him. They don't trust you. They decided to stay with him, which is why it's so hard for Eddie Hearn to get Mikey Garcia over there. But anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. How did Dazn perform this year? Personally, I think it was a little underwhelming for Dazn, but for Matchroom on Dazn, man, Oscar De La Hoya saved Dazn, if it got saved at all. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.